My gate has been updated. How about a cat? Let's open with a cat. Where is my... I gotta get my stream chat open, y'all. There it is. Chat's open. We got chat. Hey, look at that. We got cat, who needs to flip the base for the rest of the buttons, which is a thing that definitely makes sense to everybody who wasn't involved in the Discord chat we were just in. Maymay is meowing, so that's good. We got Marie. Hello, welcome. And Jammy. We have Jammy Dodgers, and that's the important thing. Jammy, the most important creature in stream. Yeah, I'm saying your name. What a good girl. Oh, hi there. Yeah, that's my good jammies. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. We're here to do PBE nails. That's the plan. I'm excited and also very hopeful that I won't get arrested and sent to El Salvador. I'm optimistic. But they don't seem to love the Canadians right now, so, you know, it's one of those, like, who knows? I think I need to... I'm sorry, this is going to be weird for a second. Wait, hang on. I apologize. Is that better? I think that's a little better. I think there was a little schmutz on the laptop camera there. Yeah, we got to do a PBE mini. We got one job. I'm so glad that you're ready. Maymay, if you can't find your chaos bottle, then like you should just use whatever, black or gray or whatever. It will be fine. I truly will not be upset. I just thought it would actually work with that design if you felt like it. Okay. So PBE nails. I do want some help. Oh, well, Sassy Dog Mom's got to go away for a minute, so I'll wait till she gets back. 'Cause she's always good for an opinion or two. It's going to haunt you because you had it right there. I'm sorry. It is right there. It's just that either you can't see it because of the ghosts, or you picked it up and put it somewhere to make sure that it was going to be handy because you were planning on doing a mani with it for PBE, and then you put it in a different wrong spot. Those are pretty much the options. Also, see how blue my hair is right now? It's so blue in the light and pink. I really like it. It's the second option. You put it somewhere weird. It happens. It's a problem. Did you already pack shelf for Ponks? Thanks. I love it too. I mean, I've been doing it this way for kind of a long time now, so it's nothing new, but it does make me happy. So my general concept for my PBE nails is I pulled all of the polishes that I have, 38 of them here, that have insects, arachnids, or other things that we call bugs. I excluded bacteria for reasons. But basically insects, arachnids, and then there's some shellfish that I included just for funsies. So I pulled all of those. They're mostly insect and arachnid themes, but there's nudies, dom sen nudies, or whatever it's called, high quality nudies. I have mantis shrimp, and I decided slug bug kind of counts, even though I think it's supposed to be inspired by the car bug, but it does have the word bug in it. I included pest control and worm belt mummy demon. And I also included Arcana, My Life as a Shrimp and My Life as a Mollusk. So I did sort of expand the definition of bug-themed polish a little bit. But the basic gist was I pulled all of these, and I want to do a mani with either all of these or a subset of these. Now, I'm feeling like 38 is a lot, and it might be a challenge to incorporate all of them. So I did divide them up. So these ones here are from brands that are going to be at PBE this year, just to the top row. So I have by Dani Vienna, Lurid, 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 Monarch, Monarch. And then these are BCB and Dom, who were originally going to be there and, of course, were not able to attend. So I could do a mani with these, which I think would be a fun combination. All the rest of these are other brands. So people who were not going to be at PBE aren't going to be at PBE and weren't at any point, to my knowledge, going to be at PBE. So I got like Wildflower and Cracked and Vapid and Abomination and Apocalypse and BKL and just a bunch of other brands. So yeah. So I guess question number 1 is, do I limit it to brands that are in attendance this year at PBE? Do I expand it a little bit and include the ones that were originally going to be in PBE but decided not to for various reasons? Or do I just pick and choose from all of them and just do a subset? There's not a single Beau Rev that is insect themed that I have. I've looked through my entire collection except for cremes. I did not go into my cremes, but I'm pretty sure I only have like one creme that would have qualified anyway. But yeah. Hello, Sylvia, welcome, and hello, Daphne, welcome as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of brands, obviously, that are not represented, but, you know, that's their fault for not making bug polish. So I'm leaning toward using these top 2 rows, but I'm open to potentially including other ones as well. So I kind of figured I would let y'all decide on which polishes I want to use. Now, here's the plan. So what I want to do is I want to do whatever polishes I'm using, I want to swatch them out on silicone sheets and make decals with them, cut strips, apply the strips to my nails, and have 1 or 2 accent nails where I just have a solid background and paint like a beetle or an arachnid or something on it. Again, using the same polishes, but all the other nails would be a collage of strips of all the different colors. Sylvia says I want it all. It's 38 polishes, so it's just a lot, but I mean, I could do it. I could do it. It just means I would have 38 little decals to deal with. So, what do we think? Here, let me do a poll, okay? What do you mean I have until tomorrow? What does that mean? Okay, so start poll. Just at PBE. PBE plus last year PBE. I'll call it this plus last. And then everything. I'm starting the poll. Yes, the kitty is adorable. That's why I went and collected her and put her there. She wandered off, like she had been hanging out in here with me, and she wandered off literally 10 minutes before stream. I was like, this is not the time for that. You're not allowed to do that right now. Tell me that the stream is not being slow right now. Did it? Please tell me that it didn't go and like freaking crash out on me. I'll be very annoyed if it did. It looks like I'm moving now. So I think there was a little bit of a pause there. Hopefully y'all didn't have a pause, but... It's working for you? You guys are fine? Okay. Hopefully everybody's fine. It means you have anxiety about me finishing the manicure. Don't worry about that, Sassy. I got this. I'm quick. You should know by now. I got this. Jamie, where are you going? She is abandoning us, y'all. What are you doing? Oh, it's 'cause Brian is like making noise and banging on things out there. And so Jamie wants to find out what's happening. She has concerns. But the door is closed. She can't actually go outside right now. Okay. So what's happening with the poll at this point? Do we have... It looks like everything and this and last year are tied at the moment. She's disappointed in us for needing a tiebreaker. Maybe. That's possible. I'm gonna get more of my my little silicone pads out and prepped. So maybe what this means is since those two are tied, maybe what we should do, unless someone comes along and breaks the tie, maybe what we could do is like do the PBE ones and then pick a couple to add that we think would complement them from the wider array. Oh, someone went and tied it up even worse. Excellent. Excellent. Good job, whoever did that. Good job. Well, that's okay, because I'm just going to keep cleaning these until the decision is made. She came back. Oh, look at the little flop baby. Such a good girl. You finished switching the button base. Kat has been making some buttons for a few of us for PBE. So she's got, there are a few people that, including myself, that are going to have buttons made by Kat with our Instagram handle and such on it. And then she also made a bunch of mini buttons, or is making a bunch of mini buttons that have the little lemon licking the fingernails emote from Discord. Okay. Yeah, we're completely tied up. Y'all are useless. So... Yes, designed by me, parts designed by me, not all designed by me. You're just the grunt worker. All right, I'm going to switch over to the nails up display here so we can talk colors. So we'll definitely do the ones that are going to be at PBE. It seems like we definitely want to also add the dropouts. And then maybe what we'll do is... What's that? 3, 6, 9. Maybe pick 3 more to go with them. I'm going to end the poll because this is the most useless poll ever. Completely tied. Yeah, I photoshopped some stuff into size. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start swatching these out so that I will have my my little blobs at least drying. Because we're going to need multiple coats here for this, and it's going to take some time to dry. So I have, by Danny Vienna, Picasso Moth is that first one there, which was a really fun one, inspired by an actual moth called a Picasso moth. And when I got this one, I did a mani with it where I did an accent nail that was like a little bit more detailed painting of an actual Picasso moth. And then the rest of the nails just had the Picasso moth polish on it. How many magnetics are there? Just 2 in the main set, and then I have 5 more in the extended universe. Second one here is Beautiful Day for a Bee Sting from Lurid. And then after that, it's going to be Wolf Spider Surprise, also from Lurid. Use all 7 magnetics. You remember that, Manny? It was a fun mani. I liked it. Yeah, I could use all 7 magnetics. That could be fun. That is more polishes than I was intending on adding. Next is Amid the Insects Lulling Serenade from Lurid. So I'm here right now. We're going to need probably 2 coats of all of these. Is that 16? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14. That's 14 polishes altogether, I think, unless I fucked something up. This one's Muncha Muncha. This next one. This was a Monarch PPU inspired by the Very Hungry Caterpillar, or whatever the hell that caterpillar book. This one was a PR polish. And so was the next one, which is Monarch Glasswing Butterfly. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah, that would be an easy mistake there. Okay, Monarch Glasswing Butterfly. This was also, oh boy. Okay, this needs some thinner, y'all. We cannot be doing Monarch dirty like this. This is a real pretty polish, but she got thick. It was already thick to begin with. And oh boy, did it ever get thick. Okay. There is Glasswing Butterfly. Hopefully the little swatches I'm making are big enough for strips for 3 nails. Should be, given how many there are. I think we'll be good. As long as I'm not stupid about how I... words. Cut them, is what I was trying to say. You're pretty, you don't have to do math. That's valid. All right. This one is a dame called Bugs and Guts, or Guts and Bugs. Something like that. It was a Halloween one that they did. Bugs and Guts. That was from the Polish Nook What's in the Box from 2023. And then another dame here. No, it's not Send Nudies. It's High Quality Nudies. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Send Nudies. It's clearly incorrect. High Quality Nudies. I really love this one. It's so pretty. I mean, I love all of these, but I haven't worn this one for a while, so. Heather, welcome! And welcome, Najwa. Hello, hello. Glad you could make it. This one is very special to me, this BCB Lacquers one. I did get as PR, but also this one was inspired by one of my pets. A photo of... I believe it was, it was definitely one of my Acanthophrynus coronatus, which are, one of the common names is whip spider. They're also sometimes called a tailless whip scorpion, but they're an arachnid that is not a spider. They don't make webs or anything, and they are completely harmless to humans. And I think incredibly fucking cool. And most of the time, they're like, at least that species is like sort of orange and brown. But right after molting, which is how, of course, they grow, like all arachnids and also insects, in order to grow, they have to molt, shed their exoskeleton and grow a new one. And during this brief time, shortly after molting, they're this wonderful combination of like white and blue and yellow and green, and it's really, really cool. Yeah, it's not actually a spider, but yes. But they're very cool animals, and my profile picture also has one on my nails, or on my fingers. Okay, so those are the the core group of the ones that are at PBE and the ones that had to not be at PBE. So we're going to add now the 5 magnetic ones as well to that set. So I'll set this aside to dry out for us. And for those who have arrived late and missed the explanation, so for my PBE nails, I just realized I didn't turn this on. Not that it makes a huge difference, but for my PBE nails, I have decided to go with a bug theme. So I pulled all of my polishes that are inspired by insects, arachnids, and I also included shrimps, mollusks, and nudibranchs because it, seemed like a good idea at the time. I wanted to, be fairly loose and open with it. And so I divided it out into brands that are at PBE this year. And then these 3 are brands that were at PBE last year and were originally intending to come this year, but weren't able to. And then the rest of these are all ones that are not involved with PBE at all, but just had bug stuff. So that is my pool that I'm working with. And I'm doing decals that I'm going to cut into strips, and we're going to have some chaos. And you missed the poll to decide which polishes we're going to use, but that's okay. Let me just grab the other magnetics here. So shrimp and mollusk, and then these 3. Yeah, Fauve, M&N, and NB. All right. Yes, I will be doing some art as well. There's going to be 2 kinds of art in this one, because why be uncomplicated when you have the option to be complicated, right? We're going to do some decals, and we're going to do 1 or 2 accent nails with hand-painted art. So here's Arcana, My Life as a Shrimp. This was also a PR one. Most of these polishes were ones that I purchased, but yeah, there are a few that I got in PR. This is another Arcana, My Life as a Mollusk. And this is interesting. I hadn't actually noticed at the time when I was originally swatching it, but somebody else pointed out that mollusk had a slightly softer magnetic than shrimp. And yeah, it's definitely the case on mine as well. I don't know how well you can see here, but it's a little bit softer line with the mollusk. I don't know if it's a different batch of the pigment or what. This one is Fauve Picasso Moth from the Van Gogh collection, or Van Gogh Part 1. And this one I have kind of a complicated relationship with because I purchased it, but then after I had purchased it, she approached me to give me the rest of the collection as PR, but then also paid me to do swatches. So I ended up getting paid for swatches of the polish even though I purchased it. So it's a little complicated. It's not quite PR, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to define that, but I've disclosed it. Whatever you want to call that. I've done my duty. Okay, and then I need another... Oi. Ah! Hey! Ugh. My magnets are giving me trouble. You'll never believe it. You'll never guess. My magnets, of all things, giving me trouble. Who knew? Who would have guessed? This one is M&N Jewel Wasp. And this one, so M&N is, it's a combo of two of the Brazilian brands, and I cannot for the life of me remember which two. Yeah, I can't recall. It's two of the Brazilian indie brands, though. Yeah, the poll was very much a make up your own damn mind. And then the last one here is Nothing Basic Ground Beetle, which is fun because it's misspelt as Ground Beetle, which I actually think is very funny. But yeah, Ground Beetle. Whoop. And I got some kind of little chunk in there. I don't know where that came from. Did that come from the polish? I hope not. Maybe there's pieces of ground beetle in it. Yeah, it needs to be disclosed, but I was at a financial loss for it. I mean, yeah, a little bit. For that one specific one. But yeah, it's one of those, like, sometimes it's hard to sort of really strictly define within sort of the standard language what the financial relationship is, but there is a financial relationship, so you have to. Yeah, the holomagnetics definitely are a softer pull than a lot of others to begin with, but this one is not thicker than the others. I could try a little bit of thinner when I do my second coat to see if that helps a little bit. It might. It definitely doesn't feel like it needs thinner, though. But yeah, the holomagnetics can be a little fiddly. That is absolutely true. Okay, so second coat for everything. Just going to leave that one in the middle there because it's got the magnets under it. So we'll go back to our second coat for the Denny Vienna Picasso moth, which I just love. It's such a fun, absolute clusterfuck of a polish. And it's like objectively kind of ugly, but I love it anyway. Partly because I know how perfectly it represents the actual moth. I think that's for me, that's a big part of why I like it so much, because it really is a perfect interpretation of the moth in nail polish. And you don't see that very often with insect-inspired stuff. A lot of the time, it's just kind of like, yeah, I picked one of the colors. Or it's a multi-chrome, which, like, there's nothing wrong with multi-chromes. I love them. And, you know, the magnetic multi-chromes and stuff, you can really capture a lot of things with that. But yeah, I just think that one's especially unique. Like a glazed donut with sprinkles? Yeah, kind of. Okay, this one's Beautiful Day for a Bee Sting. And then the next one is going to be Wolf Spider Surprise. Yeah, the Danny Vienna polishes are very artsy. Like, she really has an interesting approach to glitters that are quite unique. She puts together some really interesting things. I tend, on average, broadly speaking, to be not a big fan of glitters. They don't tend to be a thing that I reach for. But I can't deny that sometimes she comes out with one that is quite compelling. Because it just perfectly tells the story. Okay, next is Amid the Insects' Lulling Serenade. This one here. It's another Lurid. Lurid has really very quickly become a favorite, I know, for a lot of people. For me, largely because fantastic greens. She has done some magical greens. And also, she's done a lot of bug-themed things, an unusual number of bug-themed things. It's not often that a brand does that, especially one that hasn't been in business for a really long time. Like, you know, some of the brands you kind of go, okay, well, you've been doing stuff for a long time, so eventually you'll come out with like a, you know, butterfly collection or whatever. But like Wolf Spider Surprise, that's not a normal thing to do. It makes me happy. Muncha Muncha, I freaking love this one. It's so fun. Glitters always eat at your nail beds. You love reflective glitters. They don't really bother your nail plate. Yeah. I mean, I normally wear Peely base to begin with, so it's not typically a problem for me to wear glitters in terms of anything like that. I'm always doing a Peely base and then also a smoothing base. I'm not wearing a Peely base tonight because I actually need this mani to last for at least until Monday. Ideally until I get home on Monday. So, and given how much abuse my nails are likely to take over the weekend, Peely base was definitely not going to be the thing. This one, Glass Wing Butterfly, also from Monarch, and I said it on the first coat. I'll say it again. Both of these were PR from Monarch. And then we have Dame Bugs and Guts from that Polish Nook box. It's an interesting one because it has like a very sort of turquoisey base, but as you build it up, it gets more like slimy and orangey looking. It's very weird. A fun one. And then High Quality Nudies. This one was very exciting to me. I remember when it came out, I was like so excited for this one, partly for the theme, and also it's just such a beautiful polish. Angie really makes some absolute banger magnetics. Bring top coat with me and change my mani while I'm there? Absolutely not. I can't tell you how much I hate doing my nails away from home. I really hate it. Because I don't have my whole setup, and it's just like I would do it if I was going to be gone for, you know, over a week, but it's just, ugh. I don't like to. I don't have the right ventilation. I don't have my workspace. I inevitably forget something. It's just suboptimal conditions, and I don't like to do it. So I'm just going to have my nails just done, and that's it for the weekend, and then I don't have to worry about it, and I'll be happy. All right. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and get a drink of water. How many of y'all are going to be there at PBE with me? I know May May is. I don't know if she's still there. I know Kat is, but I don't know if she's still there either. I think she's very busy doing ka-chunk buttons. Kevin's there being your button helper. Hi, Kevin. I hope you're having fun being a button helper. I'm going to see you in Chicago. That'll be cool. We get to go hang out in Chicago. Maybe we can get some pizza or something. All right. Are you dry enough to move? Probably. Okay. Move that off to the side. Ray, you've arrived. Hello, welcome. What I have decided on for the theme is Buggus. It is a Buggus theme. So what I did was I pulled all my polishes that are insect and arachnid themed, and then narrowed down from there. So because it was 38 polishes, which is a few too many. I mean, I could do a mani with 32 polishes, but it doesn't, or 38 polishes, but it doesn't sound like a fun idea. So I'm also excited for the ka-chunk buttons. But yeah, so we narrowed it down a little bit to 14 polishes, mostly brands that either are at PBE this year or that were at PBE last year and were not able to arrive or to go there this year. I am going to put just a little bit of thinner in this My Life as a Mollusk just to see if it does in fact help. We'll give it a shot. I don't know if it will, but it can't hurt to put just a little bit. Daphne, you won't be able to be there. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you have other fun things planned for the weekend. Buggus. Buggus is the correct way to say it. Yeah, so I'm doing the decals. We're going to cut them in strips. We're going to do 1 or 2 accent nails. I haven't decided yet. With hand painted, probably a beetle, I'm thinking. Yeah, it didn't help, unfortunately. It's still just a real soft pull. If I push it down against the thing, it'll go a little tighter, but there's a limit to how much I can... Oh, I don't want to use that because that will definitely cause problems because of the magnet. Yeah, it's just softer pull than shrimp for whatever reason. Anyway, yeah, so I'll do a hand-painted accent or possibly 2 hand-painted accents. I think maybe just 1. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should I do just the middle finger as an accent, or should I do middle and thumb? Both? What do you think? Let's do another pull. Try not to tie it this time, okay? Start a pull. Just middle plus thumb. There we go. So, did I just see somebody say just the ring, Ray? Don't be a troublemaker. I didn't give that option. I said middle. I often do ring as my my accent rather than middle, but my middle nail right now is significantly less stained than everything else because I've had a patch on it for a long time. And so it's like a different color than everything else. So I feel like if there's going to be an accent, it should be the one that is already a little bit of a different color. I don't know. It might not matter for this, but... we shall see. It looks like middle and thumb is winning here. Bedtime book. All right. Good night, Kevin. We'll see you this weekend. Yeah, I don't know if I'm... Here's the thing. Last year when I went... I didn't do any like live streaming or video or anything like that. I was so overwhelmed by the entire experience at the actual shopping part of things that I was like, there was no way I could cope with also thinking about that at that time. And so I don't know if I'll be able to do any better with that this year. There's a very good chance that I won't. I would like to think that I will, but I do know that I am absolutely a person who gets overwhelmed in crowds. And so we'll see. We'll see how it is. It's very likely that what I will end up doing is just taking a lot of photos. But yeah, it's a lot to both experience it and also try to record it, and also, you know, be hanging out with your friends, and, you know, appreciating the whole experience. It's hard to also be thinking about video at the same time. So there are people who do it and do it so well, and they like make it a whole experience. And I feel like that's really cool, but I don't think I'm one of them. There's definitely going to be, like, I think Latanya always does, you know, a whole filmed thing. There's somebody else that usually goes around and like live streams and films a bunch of stuff. Sneak is, Sneak's going to be taking photos. Kevin's excited to match people to their lemon lick. That's lovely. Now, you know, it might be that he ends up having to give the wrong color lemon lick to people because they choose a different color, though. I hope he's okay with that. I'm sure he will be. Choice matters. Okay, so you're excited to see previews of Kleenex table? Yeah, that table is going to be a freaking zoo for sure. What color do I want to do? So it looks like I'm doing middle and thumb. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. So I have 2 accent nails. Thank you for actually making a decision. So I think for the background for the 2 accent nails, should I do... I'm thinking not one of the magnetics. Although... What should I use as a background for the accent nails? Latanya's live streams are absolute, like, non-stop high energy. She's just, I don't know how she does it. She has so much energy. No, the accent is the hand painted. I'm covering the nails in strips for everything that is not the accent nails. So for the accent nails, I'm thinking I might use... I'm kind of feeling maybe wolf spider as the background, or Muncha Muncha. What do y'all think for the background? Should I do Muncha Muncha or should I do wolf spider? Yeah, the PPU crazy. The PPU table is crazy for sure. Lurid as well is definitely going to be a zoo. Her first year, she is definitely going to be absolutely crazy. I'm feeling wolf spider. May is feeling Muncha. I need one more person to say one of them. Wolf spider or Muncha Muncha? That's a lot of votes for Muncha. Okay. Muncha it is. All right. I have this like really marvelous yellow stain here. that I can't even remember what the hell gave me that stain, but whatever it was not glitter or anything. I don't know why it was just in the one spot. It was not a nail art thing. It was just like a swatch, and for some reason that whole zone ended up being I have a little fleck of nail polish on this hand. Also, for my other hand, I'm thinking I'll just skittle 5 of the polishes from this hand. I didn't say that part yet, but that's what I was thinking about doing. Just like picking 5 polishes that work together from this hand, so that it's at least like coordinated. Vanessa, hello, welcome. Unmixed pigment? No, that's not what that was. I literally just have like flecks of stuff that's separate. Like that was already on my nails. And also on my other nails that are unpainted. Was it a thermal? I can't recall. It could have been. I have done a couple of thermals recently. Let's see. So for a skittle, what do we think for a skittle for the other hand? Out of here, I think I can probably take the magnet away from here now. Just put those there for the moment. All right, so trying to get these all visible. There we go. So we need to pick 5 of these to skittle for the other hand. Oh, unmixed pigment for the stain. I understand. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Vanessa, I thought you might be Muddy Messy Manny. I had a feeling. I vaguely recognized the name, and I was trying to think who I know that's a Vanessa. And I'm terrible with names, but somehow yours kind of half stuck at somewhere in my brain, somewhere deep in there. Okay, so I feel like High Quality Nudies has to be in there, and I feel like Watch Me Whip has to be in there. Peacock Moth kind of works nicely with Watch Me Whip. I think I would not use Muncha Muncha on the other hand, because I already have it as the background for two fingers on this hand. Green Ping Mag Nudies Lime Green. What's green pink? Oh, do you mean green pink mag? This one here. Nudies Lime Green Mag. Green with warm shimmer. This one. Race feeling these two. And then Watch Me Whip. Daphne likes the blue and rust one. This one here. That one's definite. So for sure I want to do High Quality Nudies. For sure this Peacock Moth. These, I think those would work. So these two here. So that's Ground Beetle, Peacock Moth. This one is Bugs and Guts rather. High Quality Nudies, and then Watch Me Whip. That could be a fun skittle. I'm not mad at that. And that's 3 magnetics. Okay, let's do that. That works. I do need a second coat here of Muncha Muncha. Actually, maybe I should do my first coat on the other hand first. Give that a little bit more time. I am not going to do these velvet. Am I going to do them velvet? Velvet or ring? Velvet or ring magnet. I'm pulling this one. This will apply to all of the magnetics, okay? On the Skittle hand. All the magnetics on the Skittle hand. Velvet or ring magnet. I saw Penelope Luz has a magnetic that looks like a cousin to BKL's Blade of Frontiers. Super fine pearly magnetics. I'm not familiar with Blade of Frontiers, I think. I don't think I know that one. Ring seems to be winning. That looks pretty... That looks like a pretty solid lead. All right. Y'all making me work tonight, huh? I see how it is. Okay, and then order, I think... I want to do this between those two, and then this and this. Yeah, okay. So pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. It's like greener grumpy. Okay. I have grumpy. I'm about to do my wrong hand here. I have grumpy. I could not resist that one. It's really good. I got grumpy and I got what was the other one I got from the same collection? I don't recall. It's also a predominantly greeny one. Oh no, blue on Blask. Can't trip with wet nails. You're doing great. You're doing great, Ray Ray. Alright. Just do a short magnetic for this first one because it's not really going to do as much on that first coat. I agree. Save your nails, Ray. Don't try and force yourself to type with wet nails. It's hard to do. Sorry, I'm just doing cleanup off screen here because there's not enough space with everything else going on. I mean, I could just move these off to the side, but that would make too much sense. All right, here we go. Here's Watch Me Whip. I have like all of my nails are like slightly stained blue right now, especially on the tips, because of dyeing my hair the other night. I wear gloves when I dye my hair, but like just like washing your hair and just like running your fingers through your hair when it's freshly dyed, you get a certain amount of transfer. Because I especially like I have kind of a rule that I don't wash my hair for a couple of days after a fresh dye job, because it makes a big difference for me in how well the dye holds if I just give it a couple of days. before I wash it, and so it like I basically end up having a lot of blue transfer for the first week or so, which means May, you're really going to enjoy the towels, the hotel towels. The one I use for my hair is going to be absolutely blue. They do use bleach on them. It's fine. But yeah. Yeah, cold water rinse works, but I do a cold water rinse. I only always do cold. With fresh dye, and I still get a lot of transfer. However, the dye that I use is probably not the dye that you use, and my hair is not like your hair, so you know. Unfortunately, there has been absolutely nothing that has ever convinced my hair not to continue having a certain amount of blue coming off of it for like a few days at least. The only way I can avoid it is if I wash my hair with soap or like with shampoo multiple times in the first couple of days, and then that just means that my color doesn't last as long. It fades a lot faster. If I'm washing it every day, it fades a lot faster. So I just, for that first few days, I just avoid washing it. I would rather have a certain amount of dye transfer for a few days, and have my hair stay extremely blue for months, than be precious about getting dye places and end up losing my blue faster. It's just what I've figured out about my hair and this specific dye that I'm using over the years. It's really... Well, May, like, it's not like we're going to have to share towels. It's fine. I've used other dyes that don't do what this one does, but they also don't stay in my hair as well, as long as this one does. They've all universally washed out much, much faster. So, yeah, it's a trade-off that I'm more than happy to deal with. I just have dark-colored towels and dark-colored pillowcases that I use when I dye my hair. And it's fine. The towel, or the hotel, of course, will have white towels and white sheets, but they bleach everything regardless. So I am not going to be concerned about what happens to their towels and their pillowcases. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I have one of Vala's hair towels. And I need to pass it to one of y'all to give to Vala. Because the chances of me actually remembering to mail it to her are vanishingly low. She forgot it here when she visited. You sweat when you sleep and you'll wake up with purple on your face? Skill issue. Yeah, that doesn't happen to me. Not because I don't sweat when I sleep, but because I can't have my hair anywhere near me when I sleep, anywhere near my face when I sleep. It will instantly wake me up. And also my hair is very short. I have to have it like swept back from my face. I don't like hair touching me most of the time, even my own. Using the ring magnet really is so much slower, y'all. I love the way it looks. I love the effect that it gives, but it is so much slower than velvet. I have a cool new contraption actually to play around with, but I want to actually dedicate a stream to it at some point in time. It's this whole magnetic setup that I got. It's like a 3D printed. I think the brand is called Nail Thing or something like that. I do seem bent on doing a mani that will take a long time, but you know, let's be real. It's going to take a long time no matter what we do with my mani because it's me. And when have you ever seen me do a short stream? It doesn't happen. We don't do short streams around here. Strips is insane? No. How do I keep my hair swept back when I'm sleeping? I don't know, man. It just stays back. It's not a glass bead swinging magnet contraption. No. No, it is not. I have actually built one of those, but it is fully manual and quite safe because I'm not fucking stupid. And it's just a prototype. I think I'm actually going to get my stepdaughter to 3D print part of it for me. But yeah, it will absolutely always only be fully manual because I do not have any interest in attaching a large hunk of metal to a high-speed rotating anything that has a motor and attachment that are not designed for that function. With no safety guard between it and my precious, precious flesh. And I'm not even that worried about my nail. I'm worried about what happens if some portion of it breaks and that magnet goes flying and hits you in the gut or the ribs or the face. Or your pet sitting beside you. I'm very concerned about these things. Have Carmen and Rachel met? Not in person, no. They were both at the wedding, but Carmen was remoting in on Zoom. They're like the same age, though. I feel like they probably would get along reasonably well. I think I'm going to probably want a third coat of this. Probably want a third coat of almost all of these except for Watch Me Whip, actually. Insert wasted meme here. Yeah, no, I can show you the contraption. It's a 3D printed rig that that can hold a lot of different magnets in different orientations. I actually think I want to have this the other way. Yeah. I want to have this way. But yeah, I'm going to do a whole stream, I think, with it, but I want to play with it and figure out exactly like what kinds of things it can do. 'Cause it's got a few different orientations. It can also like be a phone holder when you're not using it, which I think is kind of funny. Yeah, you should be worried about it flying. It's very dangerous. You should not be spinning a big chunk of metal at high speed unless you have some proper safety stuff in place. it's very foolish. The manual contraption that I made is just like a little hand crank and a gelato tub. So it can only go as fast as I can make it go with my finger. Gosh, that one's pretty. I mean, all of these are pretty. That's why I own them. Be right back, washing bowl. All right, I'll do this coat and then I'll show you both the thing that I made and the thing that I want to do a stream with. Okay, this is my prototype for a spinny thing. So it basically, like, this is as fast as it can go, is like as fast as I can do this. So pretty safe. But that's my prototype, but I want to do a little tweaking and then get a 3D printed rig for it. But this is the nail thing. So it's got these like little pegs where you can stick these. Fucking up my nail. God damn it. I should know better than to try and mess with magnets while I'm dealing with this sort of thing. Anyway, I will do an entire stream with this, but today is not that day. Now I have to do some repairs here. You just inhaled a cinnamon muffin. I'm glad. I mean, presuming that you figuratively inhaled it and not literally inhaled it. I feel like that would not improve your mood if you literally inhaled it. But cinnamon muffins are good. Don't worry, this is going to be fun. A mere annoyance. We'll do a third coat of this and it'll be all good. It's got enough like flake and glitter and shit going on that it's not even going to be noticeable. And this one I needed to do a third coat for anyway, so it's all fine. It's all fine. You inhaled it like Kirby. I do think I want a third coat here. And we will also, remind me if I forget that I also want a top coat these before I start doing anything hand painted on them. And I just dinged another nail on that bottle, but I think it's okay. It was dry enough. I do like a cinnamon muffin. I like cinnamon in pretty much anything. I'm a big fan of cinnamon. Welcome back, Maymay. Okay. Yeah, I got that one as well, didn't I? That's okay. Everything needed another coat anyway. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, safety was very much like #1 priority for me, making anything spinning, because I'm not an idiot. I'm not like totally averse to taking any kinds of risks. I just think if you're taking big stupid risks for something trivial, then you need to rethink your priorities. If you're taking small reasonable risks for something that is like decently worth it, then that's fine. But for me, having another cool looking way to do my nails is not worth the potential injury that could occur if everything went wrong. I always think about like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen? And regardless of what the chances are of that happening, if it did happen, would I still be okay with the fact that I did it for this thing? Is the trade-off worth it? I always got to think about that, because even if the chances of the stupid thing happening are incredibly low, how fucking dumb would I feel if I like broke a rib, or like knocked out my teeth, or knocked my cat unconscious and had to run to the vet hospital or something, like because of this, you know, low probability event of something like that happening, right? Calculated risks, yes. Calculated risks, I'm fine. You have to think about what that looks like if everything goes wrong. And if it's still worth it to you, then cool, do it. So yeah, heavy things on a tiny high-speed motor that is not designed to hold the heavy thing without a proper means of affixing the heavy thing to the spinny thing. Absolutely not. Oh, did I leave the poll going? Apparently I left the poll going. I feel like we can probably end that now. Sorry. It's a good thing that we didn't have like a bunch of people come in and completely change the results of the poll partway through, huh? After I'd already finished, or after I'd already, you know, done the most of the mani. I'd have to start all over again. I wouldn't. There's no way I would. So I think sometime after PBE, probably not immediately after PBE, because oh boy am I going to be busy in the few weeks immediately after. But sometime hopefully between PBE and the end of summer, I want to try and set up so that I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. It's going to take a certain amount of research and testing and whatnot to get there, but hopefully I will be up and running with that before the end of the summer, which may open up some more options for us in the future, which I think would be cool. I really like this ground beetle one. I feel like I have at least one other that is, maybe two others that are very similar to ground beetle. But they're not called ground beetle, and that, I think, makes all the difference. I feel like there's at least two magnetics in my collection that are quite similar. I bet Ray remembers what they are. I'm useless at remembering what's in my collection. I did actually start doing the cabochons, though. Just over the last couple of days, I started doing cabochons for some of the polish in my drawers. Because I was like, well, shit, what do I have? Because I didn't know what I wanted to do for my PBE mani. So I was like, okay, well, what do I have from brands that are going to be at PBE? And so the easiest way to figure out what I had from brands that were going to be at PBE was to start pulling stuff from those brands that are in drawers and start doing cabochons for them. So I have begun that process. And also swatch wheels. So teeny tiny little itty bitty bit of work done on that. Still oh so very much to go. I think I did like 4 brands or 5 brands that I don't have a huge amount of stuff from. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot more to go. But having a few done is better than having none done, so yay for that. Of course, I'm going to come back from PBE and be so overwhelmed by the amount of polish that I have and also the amount of swatching that I have to do, because I have a couple of collections and a bunch of like boxes and such, like collab boxes to do for August that all have to be done like shortly after I get home. It's kind of a fun little skittle. All right. Top coat this, and then we can start cutting strips. Everything should be dry enough for that at this point. Got a little bit of a slight little smudge at the edges there. That's okay, we can fix it. Yes, always top coat before nail art, or I will have so many regrets. Jammy Dodgers is snoring. Trying to see if I can see it on the audio. I can see it on the audio, but it's very faint. It's just a tiny little sound that she makes. It's incredibly cute. Okay. Whoop. Uh-oh. Those two are touching each other. Uh-oh. Should have realized that was going to be an issue. Come on. Let go my ego. So we've been watching Murderbot, which, if any of y'all know about Murderbot, is based on a series of books, science fiction books. I forget the name of the author. I'm really bad at that. But delightful books. Really lovely. So far, very much enjoying the series and the show. And highly recommend to anybody who doesn't mind a little bit of gore for a delightful and very silly sort of sci-fi story. The murder bot is a bit of a misnomer. Ack! I just fucking, oh my god. Do you see what I just did? I just freaking gouged this nail. I mean, come on. You can hear her snore? Just the faintest snore? So people on headphones can hear just a tiny little bit of a snore. My mic is fairly good at cutting some background noise, but Thankfully not so much that you can't hear just a tiny little bit of Jammy Dodgers. All right. This probably would have been easier if I'd done a third coat, but I find thicker decals are a little easier to peel, generally speaking. Do not attach yourself to my nail. Oh my god. That would be so bad. It was really threatening too. Okay. We got the first view. Yeah, she's stopped. She does it intermittently, and it's always very silly. Sometimes she gets really into it, and it's like an old man snore. Like, I don't know how such a tiny cat makes such a big noise, but... Come on. There we go. We're almost there, y'all. Naturally, my scissors are not on my desk. Oh, that's right. So I have really good timing. It looks like the post office is going to end up dropping the crickets, the live crickets that I ordered last week, like while I'm gone. It's scheduled for Monday, but for Monday delivery, but it arrived in DC early today, which usually means it's going to be out for delivery like the next day or the day after that. So I feel like there's a very good chance that Brian's going to end up having to deal with my live crickets, and he's never had to deal with them before. So I had to set everything up for him today and explain to him what he needs to do if they come in, because they got to get transferred. Hopefully they just won't arrive, or they won't actually be delivered until Monday, but I don't have any faith. Y'all gotta remind me to put the scissors back on the cricket bin, because he's gonna need them. You have surround sound because your old cat is in front of you snoring as well on your work desk. And one of the dogs is groaning at you, Sassy. Oh my goodness. We got a whole animal chorus here. Love that. Okay. Try and do this without mucking up the nails too badly. Can we do that? Am I gonna need my forceps? I'm gonna need my forceps. Just to pick shit up without fucking up my nails. Here we go. I think we want to do we want to do the long way or the short way? I think I'm gonna do the short way. All right, first cut between these two colors. And I'm gonna complicate my life by doing short strips instead of long strips. Okay. Y'all, I think that we all of us underestimate how much I hate myself sometimes, because the only explanation for why anyone would choose to do this is it's basically self-harm, right? I'm pretty sure. It's basically self-harm. But like, you know, psychological. Okay, so there's that color. Your blood pressure is up, Sassy. You got chicks cheeping at your right ear in the brooder. Oh, the babies. So cute. You do need this anxiety. You do. You truly do. What if I do some of them short and some of them long? I'm going to do some of them long. How about that? You should trust the process. You're not even the one that has to do the process. I'm going to do a mix of short and long. We're going to do some crazy shit here. All right. I'm making this up as I go. This could all go very badly. I feel like I should have saved this part for the end. Now that I'm doing this and I keep dinging this frickin' finger, I think Wolf Spider Surprise is going to be done the short way. And then I forget which one this one is. Is this insects? I think this is amid the insects lulling serenade. Slice off that end. Do that the long direction. Trying to do them like fairly straight, but I'm also unwilling to measure because measuring is for chumps. We don't measure in this house. That is not true. We absolutely do measure in this house. We measure multiple times in this house, but not for nail art. Let's see. Let's do this one. Short way. You're really rooting for me? Listen, it's gonna be fine. It is. When have I ever let you down? Okay, a few times. Sometimes my nail art goes painfully awry. I keep Simon in front of me as a stark reminder of just how bad things can go on stream. Okay, let's do... Ooh, this one definitely needs to be done in short. For sure. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is only going to take another half hour. Half hour to 45 minutes. It is taking a little while, but it's okay. Okay. Shrimp is going to go long way. But mollusk is going to go short way. Uh-oh. I see a little problem. There we go. Did I just hear Jamie move? Did she do snorfles or something? She's adjusting. It's important. She's an old lady, you know? She's gotta stay comfortable. Okay. Short way for mollusk. I don't even know how many of these things I'm gonna need. I might already have so many more than I need, but that's okay. Because we gotta use all these colors. It's very important. This one's Jewel Wasp. Jewel Wasp was an early, sort of slightly foolish choice that I made. Not that I regret buying it, but when I ordered it, I did not yet know the deal with all the options for pre-ordering the Brazilian brands. Like, I didn't know that, that Color for Nails and Butometry and all of those places would, like, periodically have them back for multiple pre-orders. And so I ended up ordering it from Femme Fatale, the Australian site. And so it shipped from Australia. And I believe it was like $34 or something like that. Canadian. So, not quite as bad as it would be if that were US dollars. But still, way too much money for a single bottle of polish. Especially when I could have just ordered it from one of the other stockists in a month time or whatever, when they had their next pre-order. You use eyebrow scissors for your decals? I've never even heard of eyebrow scissors. I believe that they exist. I just don't know what those are. These eyebrows have not seen any kind of taming since the 90s. They go their own way. They do their own thing. They're in charge of their own bad selves. What does it eyebrow scissors look like? Are they like little straight things? I assume. They would have to be straight, right? To be useful, I would imagine. They're tiny. I have tiny scissors, but they're curved. So, hard to use for this sort of thing. Not that this pair of scissors is doing particularly straight lines, but it at least does the slightly skewed lines a little faster. A lot thinner. You got your brows threaded? So fancy. Yeah, at some point in time I went, I don't actually care what my eyebrows look like. They're not doing anything too crazy, so whatever. They're fine. If they were doing something crazy, I would probably feel differently about it. But I feel like they're kind of just fine. Every once in a while, I become aware of eyebrow trends, and I go, that's weird. Not that there's anything weird about the eyebrow trends themselves. They all seem fine. I just feel like it's weird that there's such a thing as trends in the shape of your eyebrows. I accept that this is a thing. I just don't understand it. Like, don't your eyebrows just grow in the way they grow in? I feel like you can just leave that alone. Ashley, a violence was done upon all eyebrows everywhere. It's true. People did love to over-tweeze in the 90s. I didn't, actually. I never was an over-tweezer. I did just, like, tidy up a few stray hairs in the middle. I'm also like, I'm not an excessively hairy person, right? So I have some little strays that live in the middle here, and like I have some little strays that come a little further down the lid than might be optimal. And so I would tidy those up a little in the 90s, and now I just fucking don't. $82 later, I'm not sure that it's been 82 years. I feel like 13 years at most, you know? Then again, I feel like the 80s were like 20 years ago, so. We have strips. We have strips, and we're not afraid to use them. You were a baby in the 90s, so that trend never plagued you? Yeah. See, there's advantages to being a young pup. I can't get this open without fucking up my nails on my other hand. Okay, how about if I... There we go. I don't want to hear anything about cleaning my threads. Not a word. You were born in 98. 98? Your dog fell on the keyboard? Nice. How can anyone be born in 98? That doesn't seem possible. My God. I gave birth in 94. Y'all are babies. Infants. It's fine. Time does this thing. You know, it passes, and it makes us all old eventually, at least if we're lucky. You were born in 90? Yeah. That's very baby. So, Ashley, since you're late, I will tell you what we're doing. And if any other lurkers also came in late, they also get to know. We are torturing Sassy and also me a little bit with little strips of nail polish that I basically selected from my collection. I grabbed everything that was bug themed. And then from there, we narrowed it down to 14. I think it was 14 that we ended up with. Different polishes. And then painted out little swatches of those. And now we're doing little strips of them. And that is basically the deal. And then I have 2 accent nails that I'm gonna hand paint something on, probably beetles on both, because I can do beetles relatively quickly and easily. Let's see here. Let's do a piece of shrimp on this other side. Oh boy. This is the problem with doing strips. Sometimes you end up with stuff sticking to other stuff when you do this. When you slice them up. Especially if they're not very, very, very dry. All right, and it looks like I need one more little strip on that side. Let's use... I haven't used any of the... Well, you know what? I'll use this because that's a very small area. Will you even stick? Do I need to add more? I think I need to add more base to that up spot. The quick dry base. She dries quick. Who knew? Who knew? There we go. Wait, you've gone a little cockeyed there. Well, I guess you're just going to be a little cockeyed because you don't want to get moved easily. All right. Good enough. And actually, it looks like there's just a little spot there at the end where this one didn't quite go all the way down. So I will grab a little chunk of this Monarch glasswing, and we'll just take a little piece of the end here. There we go. Oops. That did not want to come apart by tearing. That's okay, we'll just cut it. All right, one nail sort of half done. When you ID people born in early 2000s so they can buy alcohol, it kills you a little inside. I don't know how people are born in the 2000s. Yeah, it's a little, it gets easier because you get to the point where you're like having, so all of you, literally 100% of the people in this chat are so much younger than me that it's like, it's just normal at this point for me to be talking to people that are like, how is it possible that people born in the 90s are like humans, like actual entire people and not still children? It's inconceivable. So, you know, I'm so far past the like, how are people in the 2000s adults? It's like, no, that works. Sure. If you tell me that people born in the 2020s are adults, I'll be like, sure, I don't know. Time did a thing. What century is it? I don't fucking know. All right, let's get a piece of this one here. Just kind of get to the point where you're like, yeah, everything from my childhood was vintage 10 years ago. It's fine. 20 years ago. Shit, I don't know. A long time ago. I want to do another piece of the BDV. Do like a little offset here. You'll cry when that happens. I'm trying to remember how old something has to be for it to be considered antique, and I feel like it's like 100 years or something like that. So it's a good long gap. So at least we won't have that experience. Maybe it's less though. I don't know. It might depend on the sort of like realm you're talking about, because I feel like clothing seems to become considered vintage sooner than some other categories of things. This piece here, I just need a short little bit, so I don't care that this one's a little messed up. Come on. Just try and get into approximately the right location. There we go. You did the math wrong again? I was watching a stream the other day where the guy was talking about some show. I can't remember what show it was. He was talking about like how it came out like 20 years ago or something. And he was saying it was like 20 years old. Actually, I think originally he said it was like 10 years old, and then he was like, actually, it might be more like 20. And then they looked it up, and it turned out that it had come out in the 80s. I was like, yeah, that's exactly how time works. That's it. That's it right there. That is how time works. Something came out 10 years ago. Okay, maybe it was 20 years ago. Oh shit. It was 40 years ago. Oops. Oopsie. Okay, so antique is 100 years. I was right about that. Yeah, clothing styles definitely come back in usually around 20-year cycles, and I think that's great. I think it's cool that that's a thing that happens. I actually really like that because I think that that it gives the older people an opportunity to reflect on how stupid they looked as teenagers, and it gives the younger people the opportunity to come up with their own way of making that fashion look stupid. And I think these are important milestones for every generation to have. Whatever the thing is that you are realizing looked stupid when you were a kid, that's what's going to be popular. Anyway, like, what are we going to argue about if we can't have various different lengths of pants or whatever it is that people care about right now? You forgetting you're not 20 anymore? Honey, I have a hard time remembering I'm not 20 anymore. It's been a long time since I was in my 20s. I still struggle with it. Like, how old am I? And that's the source of the whole, like, this can't have been more than 20 years ago because I'm, it happened when I was a kid, so it can't have been more than 20 years ago. Yeah. If only that was how that worked. Almost geriatric too, yeah. It's wild to me that they consider that they call pregnancy geriatric so young. What is it, like 35 or something? You're geriatric if you're pregnant at 35. Yeah, okay, technically I am 12. That's true, but I still have done, almost 50 rotations around the sun, so okay, I think now I want to do, let's do one of these right in the middle here. We haven't done one of these in the middle yet. And then I got to make sure I get one of the purples front and center, or Sassy's going to be mad at me. I did do one on the other hand there. It doesn't matter, Daphne. I know a lot of people in their 20s blame the shutdowns of COVID for how they feel like they haven't quite gotten out of their 20s yet. It doesn't actually matter. Everybody feels exactly the same way, even if they were well out of their 20s when COVID hit. Just trust me. It's a universal experience. We all wonder, how the fuck? Where? What? This can't be right. I'm not an actual adult. Who put me in charge of all these things? I'm still a kid. I'm not ready. This needs a little bit more base here. I'm still just barely out of high school or college or whatever. I'm still becoming. We all feel that way. Time is an illusion. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not sure when the fertility stuff happens, but I know 35 is around the age on average where you start having more complications, and I think that's why they categorize them differently. They're automatically considered to be higher risk pregnancies. I think that's the deal. Yeah. The term geriatric refers to the status of the eggs, not to the person themselves. You're not geriatric. Your pregnancy is geriatric. It's an important distinction to make, for sure. It is still very funny, though, to be like, yes, geriatric pregnancy at 35 or whatever. It's one of those specialty uses of a word that means something very different in other contexts. Okay, I think there. Advanced maternal age. Yeah, it seems like it also really depends on like where, who your doctor is, and where in the country or in the world your pregnancy is being experienced, because certainly the terminology definitely will change according to those factors. But I know people who have been very recently pregnant, like within the last months, who have had their pregnancies referred to as geriatric pregnancies. So because they're like 35. So I think there's a lot of like regional or even doctor to doctor or facility to facility variation in how fast some of those terms get updated. You know, not all doctors update their knowledge equally swiftly, or their terminology equally swiftly. Kids sound difficult? Yeah. You don't say. They only completely take over your life for a bare minimum of 18 years. No big deal. It's fine. Okay. We're definitely going to have to do a bunch of cleanup there, but that's okay. We knew that was happening. What time are we at here? Look at that. We're at 10 o'clock. We're 2 hours in. We're making great progress here. All we really need to do now is some cleanup and paint some hand-painted critters on my 2 accent nails. And y'all know I can whip out a beetle pretty quick. We've done that. We've done that so many times. Should I do 2 beetles? Should I do a beetle and a spider, or a caterpillar? What are we thinking? Taking suggestions now while I'm doing this stuff. Not a butterfly though. I don't love butterflies. Adult at 18 rhetoric is BS. I completely agree. I think it's fine in a different context to consider someone an adult at 18. I think if you are in a very strong community where young adults just starting out on their own are going to have like actual community support in a meaningful way, and are allowed to fuck up things and like learn how to be an adult in a very safe and supported way, then I think, it's reasonable to sort of have that. But this idea where we're like, okay, you're 18, it's time to get kicked out of the house and you're on your own, and also you have to make a bunch of decisions about how the rest of your life is going to happen by the time you're like 16 or whatever. Like, that's fucking crazy. No, not a moth. Come on. I'm vetoing moths and butterflies. I'm not doing Mothman. I would do a caterpillar. I would do some kind of spider. I would do beetles. I would do, I don't know, cockroaches. I would do lots of things, but not those. No, not Mothman. This is not a cryptids stream. We're not doing cryptids. We're doing buggus. Hungry caterpillar. Wolf spider. I could do a wolf spider. "18 is old enough that your opinion and independence should be respected, but not old enough that you should be expected to fully support yourself with no help." Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Everybody should be very well supported at 18 years old. Allowed to, have enough flexibility and space to fuck up. Absolutely, you need to be able to fuck up. But you need to be able to fuck up in a context in which there is a strong safety net for you. So that as you're learning how to adult and learning what kind of adult you want to be, you have the confidence to try things and make mistakes and know that you're going to be okay. We have these funny ideas in our society, these like all or nothing ideas, like you're a child until you're an adult, and somehow we don't allow for respect and individuality and flexibility and freedom on the child side of things. We don't allow people to have their own agency when they're on what we deem the child side of things. But then also we don't give them support and assistance when they're on what we deem the adult side of things. We don't let them make mistakes. And I think it's really pretty messed up. Mosquito would be cool. That's an interesting idea. You don't like that we language? I mean, I'm talking broadly about our society at large on average, and there's a lot of, very sweeping stuff in there that obviously does not apply to all sub-communities within the broader society. Student loans are predatory? Hell yeah. I did see that you voted for mosquitoes, yes. Student loans in Canada are pretty reasonable. University is also a little more reasonably priced, although it sure is going up. Mosquitoes and dragonflies. Oh, that's an interesting notion. Challenging, though. Y'all gonna make me work, huh? Mosquitoes and dragonflies. I don't know if I've ever hand-painted dragonflies. Plenty of societies that keep their kids well past 18 and treat them differently than this part of the world. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I am not talking about human beings as a species in any way, shape, or form. I am very much talking about the sort of dominant North American white sort of culture that many of us have grown up in. Far from all of us. Many of us have had opportunities to grow up in places that support people better, communities that know what a community is. But yeah, very much just speaking to the culture that I grew up in. But yeah, I think there's much better ways of doing things that humans have already found and proven to be better, for sure, in many other cultures. Googling fake dragonflies because you saw a video that they scare off mosquitoes. Yeah, I don't know if those things actually work or not, but if they do, that would be really cool. I've seen those things. They're like, you clip them onto your shirt or your hat or whatever. Oh boy. The cleanup on this is fairly brutal, just saying. I mean, I regret nothing because I think it looks cool, but it is brutal cleanup. You'd rather wear a fake dragonfly than a bug net? Yeah, I agree. If it works, I would absolutely wear a fake dragonfly. Hell, if it doesn't work, I would wear a fake dragonfly just as decoration. Doo-doo-doo. This is my pet dragonfly. His name is George. Your parents would probably have let you live at home forever, but you moved out for uni and never went back. I moved out very young, but then did go back for a little while, and then left again. And then I very briefly lived with my biological father as an adult when I was in between housing situations for a short period of time. Moved in with him, and that was terrible. We hadn't lived together since I was very young, like 8, I guess. So we were not in the habit of cohabiting. A firefly, make it glow in the dark. I mean, I'm going to be overtime regardless, but... Ashley, I'm Mexican and my mom asked me weeks after graduating, why are you still here? Oh, brutal. Yep. Okay. I think we're good with this part. We just need to top coat this. Am I gonna fuck up the... I should seal glaze this because I do have magnetics in there and I don't want to lose that magnetic in these. So I am going to seal glaze them. And then just in the center sort of parts, I don't want to seal glaze the edges because I do want the top coat to be able to penetrate around the edges. It will help a little bit with keeping it on there securely over the weekend. But if I can get some seal glaze over the main magnetized parts, that will help prevent the spreading that you get from top coat sometimes. Still have just a little bit of a... Yeah, not everybody was really, I think, not everybody should parent. And some people become parents because they believe that is what they are supposed to do, and they kind of feel forced into it, or they don't really question whether or not they should. But yeah, I agree with you, Ray. That I never wanted to be a parent, but I am totally happy to have quote unquote kids in my life that are adults that you can actually have a conversation with. There are definitely people who just have kids because it's what's expected. Can I do a praying mantis? Oh God. I mean, I could. It's a very complex animal. All right. Bum 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 bum. I like the mosquito and dragonfly notion. I feel like that was a fun concept. I might do that. I do want to... Do I? No, I'm just going to go right ahead into that. Let me pull up some... Let me pull up some reference. I am seeing more votes for praying mantis. Y'all need to pick something. Or maybe I should pick something. What? I mean, I could also stamp. I do have so many insect stamps. I just feel like for PBE, I should be hand painting. You know what I mean? All right, Ashley, dragonfly. It's a dragonfly. Ashley's yelling at me. So I have to do a dragonfly. Dragonfly. Images. Let's see. I think maybe I want one that's kind of like on its side, or do I want... Yeah, you know what? I think I want one that's kind of like in flight or like resting on something. That's kind of a cool photo. Let's see. Let's open... No, not the link. I don't want the link. I want the photo in a new tab. Open image in new tab, please and thank you. This is a cool one. Okay. Let me get this visible for you. Can I... Hello? What are you doing? Alright, apparently it's doing something stupid. Okay. Can you let me pick the window that I want? No, it's not letting me do a window picker. Oh, that's so interesting. Apparently I'm not allowed to OBS is being weird, y'all. All right, let's see if I can just add. No, it doesn't want to do anything like that. All right, I'm not going to be able to put my reference up for y'all to see because OBS crashed right before stream and I think is behaving badly. So, yeah, exactly. It's the only place people are going to be staring at everybody else's nails. I do feel like doing something hand painted and fairly cool is the way to go. The dung beetle that I shared in my stories was amazing, and I love that. Mosquito is appropriate for Chicago summer and also for this area. You still support cicada by your lonesome. Nails by Letitia, hello, welcome. Yeah, orchid mantises are absolutely gorgeous. There is no way in hell I am painting an orchid mantis. We're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and do a dragonfly on one nail and a mosquito on the other. I think we will do the dragonfly on the thumb, and it will be facing this way and like aiming toward the mosquito, and the mosquito will be on this nail here. So that is my plan. I think I'm going to use this for the body, maybe? It should be nice contrast. I kind of want to still stick within the colors that we already have. Could do that, or I could actually do, that would be nice, actually. The ground beetle. I think that would work really nicely if I do that velvet for the body. Let's do that. Let's do that. Ooh, or I could do... Oh, no, wait. No, we're doing damn high quality nudies for this. I think this one's gonna be even better. I need a mat. I need to get rid of all these little bits of shit here. Hang on, because they keep like sticking to me and stuff. I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit here, okay? Give me a second. Oh my goodness. That totally did not get into my garbage can. It's just on the floor now. Oops. We'll clean that up later. It's fine. It's fine. We'll clean it up later. And by later, I mean probably after PBE, because tomorrow's gonna be busy. It's gonna be a busy day. My flight is, I think, at like 4:30 or something like that. So, I'm gonna have to leave home by 2 or so to get into Baltimore and get there. Oof, that was not the way I wanted to put that down. Oh boy. I don't like it when I accidentally put my ring magnet flat against my magnet board, because it makes it almost impossible to freaking undo later. I needed the lint roller. Well, I don't have a lint roller, so it's not that the dung beetle is new. I think it's just new to me and possibly to the guy that posted it. Although it's possible, I don't recall, it might have been one that was new to science as well. Generally speaking, when we talk about a new insect discovery or a new spider discovery or anything like that, what that really means is that it was not described in the scientific literature and assigned a species identification. And like described in the literature means like you know, you've like examined all the different parts of it and like written down like how many hairs of this type and what length it has on each femur and whatever. Like it means something very specific in the science world for a species to be new. And yeah, I don't remember if he said that it was a new species or just a new to him species. It was certainly new to me. But yeah, it is often, very often, the case that so-called new species have been known by locals in their area for many years, and just, you know, the scientific establishment hasn't taken note of them yet, for whatever reason. And sometimes it's a species that, you know, there was like some person thought they might have seen something a long time ago, like a couple of 100 years ago, and they gave a sort of brief description of it or collected one specimen, and that's just been sitting in a museum collection somewhere for years and years, and just didn't know anything else about it. We have still a pretty significant sort of settler colonist kind of approach to a lot of scientific discovery when it comes to species discoveries. The language around a lot of that is somewhat problematic in many cases. Some people are trying very hard to do better, which is good. Yeah, lint roller is great. I think it's a brilliant way to do it. I just don't have one. So, you know. I think I want to use a different color for the eye, actually. I still want to use a magnetic, but I think I just want to use a different magnetic for the eye. Maybe ground beetle for this one. Okay. Big head. Big eyes. What's going on with your face? Not just a big, scary fucking face, don't you? Dragonflies have crazy faces. Very upsetting. Never look at one up close. Terrifying creatures. I love them. I think they're incredibly cool. But yeah, I would not want to be their prey, I'll tell you that much. Very glad I am too large for that. Alright, we're just going to have to sort of hint at that. And then... Whoop. We need some leggies. Do I want to do the leggies in the same color? I don't know. Maybe we'll do the leggies in ground beetle as well. Well, I already have some of that out. Okay, so we got a leggy here. And then we got leggies sort of here. Oop. The other leggy is like way up here. So that's the one side leggies, and then we need the other side leggies. Whenever we pass the character beetle in Legend of Zelda, I think of you. Simply's chat didn't have the XP thing during her launch stream. Could be in beta testing. Chaos Polish has not been found? Seriously? Wow. That is quite surprising, honestly. You really managed to hide it on yourself, huh? Do I want to kind of hint at the other leg? I guess I can, huh? Just put it like sort of back there. Just do like a little thing there. And then wings. Let's do wings in Jewel Wasp? Peacock Moth? Maybe Jewel Wasp. Let's do Jewel Wasp. I don't know how much you'll really be able to tell the difference between the three magnetics when I'm using this little of a couple of them, but... And of course the whole wing will not fit in this view because I've made the whole creature a little bit too big for that. But, you know, that's what I did. I'm not undoing it now. You can't make me. I feel like I might need some kind of, like, very faint sort of shimmery topper to go over this, to go over the wings. Just to like help make them look a little bit more sort of ethereal. And then I'm gonna have to go in with a little bit of black, I think, to get some details in here as well. A gremlin could have taken it. Your mom said she remembered you putting it on the Holotaco box shelf. It must be. Maybe Chaos Elmo took it. I'm gonna find some kind of a shimmer and also my black creme. Black creme. No, not that one. Maybe that one. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna use Don't Come Knockin'. It's the only one that is not gonna be bug themed, because I don't have a topper that's bug themed, unfortunately. Not the right kind of topper, at least. Okay. So there's that. Chaos Elmo, why? Why have you forsaken us? You know why? It's because you said that you weren't going to wear it, and it was so sad, it decided to move away. It ran away from home. She doesn't want us. A tragedy. I don't know why you did that to it. It's so cruel. Alright, so I'm going to do a little shadow underneath. And try and get some of these segments in here. Sorry, I'm not really talking. I'm kind of just focusing on trying to get some kind of reasonable thing happening in the wings here. It does make it a little less interesting to watch, probably, when I'm not talking, but I don't know. Certainly, if you're just here for the audio, I am not doing a good job of that. Another pearly black shimmer, go straight black. I think a pearly black shimmer would work better for that design. That is my opinion. On this side, I want that. And then just like a hint of it here. And then some veining in here. This veining over here goes that away. Trying not to like make it too complicated. Because if I go too detailed, then I'm gonna end up having a problem. But it's hard to know what the right balance is sometimes, you know? I feel like this looks like a dragonfly. It's not perhaps my best work, but I think it looks like a dragonfly. I think it looks enough like a dragonfly. I might want a tiny bit of white highlight as well, but am I just taking it too far if I do that? I do want that. I do want a tiny bit of... Oh, and I also need to put the dragonfly's pupil in there. It's not a true pupil, but... dragonflies and mantises and other insects with very large compound eyes tend to have something that looks like a pupil. It's like a focal point where a bunch of the compound eyes are lined up in one way. So it ends up kind of looking like a pupil. Okay, a little highlight on some of these segments. A little highlight on the eye here. And tiny little bit of highlight up here. And I think that's probably it for that. I threw the scissors in the general direction of the thing. Thank you. The golf ball looking eyes, yeah. All right, now mosquito. Let's look for a mosquito. Mosquito. Enter. Will I be able to find one that's in flight? Seems like a difficult thing to get a photo of in flight. Hi. Let's see if I can find one in flight. Mosquito in... Not mosquito in Spanish, not mosquito in amber. The suggestions are really good though. Mosquito in flight. Ah, there we are. Yeah, they fly crazy. Okay. Let's see. That's a nice shot right there. That's actually probably an illustration. But it is accurate, so we will open image in new tab. Yeah, that's definitely an illustration, but that's okay. We can work with that. Throwing scissors is dangerous, correct. Fun fact, compound eyes is an ability in Pokemon for some bug Pokemon. What does the ability compound eyes do for you? Like, it's not like that's an attack. Is it like some kind of advanced warning system that gives you better defense? Does it let you avoid attacks? Because I can't imagine what else it could possibly be. Let's see. I think we're going to do the body in Jewel Wasp. The strips look so good. Thank you. I like them. I am happy with how those came out. I kind of need to flip this thing in my brain because it's like pointing the same direction as the dragonfly in the photo, like, or it's pointing toward the dragonfly in the photo, and I feel like it should be being chased by the dragonfly. Oh, I went and put that away. I don't want that to be away. I want to be using that because I want to be magnetizing. Duh. Increases the accuracy of moves used by the Pokemon. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Easier to hit your target. Sure. I can see that, I guess. That's very silly, though. Oh. That light's been on for 2 hours. Okay. Got the front segment, and then we have a little head. And we have mosquitoes do this fucking crazy thing when they're flying. You're not gonna believe me. They do this though. This is a real thing that they do. Their little leggies, their one pair of little leggies is out in front of them like this. I shit you not. It's like above and out in front of them, as though it was antennae. It's fucking weird. I don't know why. There's this little proboscis thingy. He's got some little antennae as well. And then all the rest of the leggies are like down here, being just normal dudes. Sort of. You know, as normal as mosquito leggies can be. They dangle so far. I shit you not, this is actually what mosquitoes do. This is how they fly. You can look this up. They fly insane. Why? Nobody knows. I mean, maybe somebody knows, but if so, it ain't me. Okay. Let's do wings with... You know what? I'm going to do the wings with mantis. It's their pinkies up. So fancy. Yes, there are some really beautiful mosquitoes, actually. A dear friend of mine is an entomologist and photographer, and he took just a remarkable photo that did very well at one of the big nature photography competitions. I guess it was the year before last. And so his photo that he had taken was like kind of all over the media for a while. And it's one of the photos that he was awarded something for. I think it was actually like a runner-up thing. But it's a mosquito head-on that is literally like on his skin, piercing into his flesh. But it's the most spectacular colors and these beautiful feathery legs, all in blues and greens. Absolutely gorgeous. A totally gorgeous creature. But yeah, just kind of horrifying. And the funny thing is that the mosquito species that photograph was of is one that is a disease-carrying species, and he was in a region where he could very easily have gotten that disease. And he, not only did he let so many mosquitoes bite him in order to get this perfect photo of this mosquito, he went back multiple years in a row to get this photo and let so many mosquitoes bite him. Just, entomologists are crazy people. He has also reared a botfly in his body, so, you know, it's a thing. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the basics, and then I want some black and white highlights for this guy. So we'll do a little bit of detailing here. He's so brave or stupid, you know, like, no, he's very dedicated to his art. He's an extraordinary photographer. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's actually not the only entomologist I know who has reared a botfly, but he is my closest friend who has reared a botfly. So, and actually, I have a photograph of the fly that he reared out of that botfly maggot. He took a portrait of it when it emerged. And he refers to it as his son. So I have a beautiful photograph that's a portrait of his son. All right. Get some little segmentation in here. And get some antennae. Their antennae are a little bit feathery. And then these leggies, the leggies that go up. of a wing. Just try and get a little hint of it here. I don't really want to like fully outline the wing because I feel like that'll look too like cartoony. That's not quite what I'm going for. I think that was slightly too strong of a line there, so we'll just back that off a little. If I can, without messing it up too much. Alright, let's try that again. That's probably fine. And then we need a little bit of white. Let me show you the botfly sun. All right, this is going to be a photograph of the fly, the adult fly. This is a human botfly, adult fly. Okay, so anybody who doesn't want to see that, this is your chance to look away. I think personally that it's quite a beautiful animal. The iridescent blue on the hind end is gorgeous. Yeah, they're just a really interesting looking, funny little sort of fat fly. And I've taken the photo away, so if you had to look away, you can look again and it's safe. Anyway, so that's my friend's son that he gave birth to. It grew in his own body. He's very proud of it. Yeah, I mean, botflies are horrifying, but also, you know, they deserve to be alive, right? It's not like they chose to be botflies. And parasites serve some important functions in ecology. So, you know, not only do we not have a choice in the matter, but it wouldn't be a great idea to get rid of them all either. So, get some little white highlights in here. Gonna do a little bit of white on the legs because a lot of them have like white banding, especially around the joints. Depends on the species, but a lot of mosquitoes have little white tufts of fur, or not really. It's not truly fur, but hairs, things that are like hairs around the joints on their legs. There we go. It's a mosquito. Hopefully y'all can kind of see that. You love this so much. Listen, if you can't come to me for bugs, where are you going to get your bugs? Right? Okay, so let's do some seal glaze again on these pieces because we do not want to get any smudging. Zero smudging, please. We have worked too hard for too long to get smudging here. I really like I don't know if you can see the blue. Yeah, you can see it. The blue iridescence that from the shimmer that I put on the wings. I'm really pleased with that color. It's also doing a clouding thing right now because of putting the seal glaze on top. Worry not, that is going to go away. I find the seal glaze often clouds, especially shimmers for some reason. It seems to put a really strong cloud over some polishes, more so than others for reasons that I do not understand. But as it dries, it goes away. So we shall let it dry, and then we also need top coat on, let's do top coat on this hand while we are, oh, that's right. I went and put my freaking ring magnet on this board in a stupid way, and now I have to pry it off through the side. Oof, Jesus. Okay, you move. You come here. There we go. All right. I did it. Gotta wrap your tips. Oh, that's right. I never wrap my tips because I never care about my mani lasting, because I usually take everything off the next day anyway, because I always have stuff to put on. But this time I actually do want it to last, and so I have to wrap my tips. Thank you for the reminder, Sassy. I would definitely have forgotten. 100%. Go ahead and magnetize just to be on the safe side here. Make sure that we are well and truly secured. The decals especially, I think I need to make sure I really wrap the tip really well on those, because they can be slightly uneven sometimes at the edges with those kinds of decals. So it becomes more important to wrap, because you've got spots where you may have just a little bit of a thing that could catch. And we don't want that. All right. We got that one. And then this one. We're in the home stretch, y'all. I did not wrap the tip on that last one. Did I? Did I forget? I think I forgot. Well, if I didn't, then I did now, so it's fine. You need to remember to pack some extra nail tabs and tips in case you lose a nail. Again, yes, definitely. At least if you do lose a nail and you have tabs and tips, there's plenty of nail polish around you can replace your mani with. No shortage of that. You're for sure not going to have a problem. I wonder how many people just like do their nails at the tables at meet and greet and have that be their mani for the weekend. I bet that someone has done that. Are any of y'all at the meet and greet? I think May were finding out whether or not there's an extra ticket for you. Is Kat going to the meet and greet? I forget. I think no, right? Jamie returned. What a good girl. Gotta settle herself in there. It's hard for an old lady. It takes time to settle all your bones in the right spot. I'm so fucking stoked for PBE, y'all. It was such a good time last year. As much as I'm like broadly not super into social stuff as a general rule, and I know that just like last year, I will be so overwhelmed on the shopping day. It's worth it. It's worth it for me to suffer the absolute brutal recovery that I will definitely be suffering through for at least a week after getting home, just to be able to visit with friends and hang out with a bunch of frickin' nerds. It's a beautiful time. Okay. Definitely need to make sure we wrap the tips here. Oh, was that a fuzz or was that just a string? There's like a cat fur attached to this nail. Fuck. Why? Why with the cat fur? Always. Always with the cat fur. It's almost like I live with cats. 3 of them that are constantly all up in my stuff. Little brats. I love them. Can't be a Manny without cat fur. I'm doing such a good job wrapping my tips, Sassy. Thank you so much for the reminder. All right. Let's get this one on. I'm feeling like this is about ready to get thinned. I hope I don't end up with any bubbles here. She's starting to thicken up. These gel-like top coats always thicken up so fast, I find. I did it. I did it! Everybody, I did it. It's amazing. We did it together. Yay! This was actually really fun. I did not know what I was going to end up with. I totally have a little spot here on this nail. What is that from? What is that spot from? Is that just like a bit of black? How the hell did that happen? Can I even get it off without ruining everything? I can't, can I? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I'm gonna have to re-top coat this hand though. Oh my god. How the hell did I get a fleck of black paint there? It's okay. We got this. We got this. We got this. It's fine. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just do a second layer of top coat after this one's dried. It'll be good. I might actually do a second top coat on all of the decal nails anyway, because they are a little more textured and that might bug me. So, but we have a PBE Manny. I think it's pretty cute. I like the way it came together. I like the decisions that y'all made. And I would not have done a dragonfly and mosquito in a million years, but I really like the suggestion and I think it's fun and I think it came out pretty good. So I'm stoked. And it's 11 o'clock, y'all. This has been a 3-hour stream. A 3-hour stream. And now we're all stuck on an island. Thankfully, that's not how that works. I'm going to probably do a second top coat. I'm going to take some photos of this. And then I'm going to go watch an episode of Murderbot with my husband. Maybe have a snack. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. And I will, next week, I will be doing something and I forget what, but I have a plan. It might be the fauve stuff. I think I was thinking about doing the fauve stuff next week. I wanted to do a stream with the Van Gogh collection. So that might be next week. Or actually, that might be the week after. Next week might be PBE post-op. That makes more sense because I'm going to have so much polish that I need to swatch out and stuff and organize. So maybe I'll make that next week. That would probably make more sense. Anyway, yes, you got back and we're done. Listen, sometimes that's just how that happens, okay? But I'll show you the finished thing. We got a little dragonfly and the mosquito it's chasing. And then we have a nice little skittle on this hand using some of the same polishes. That's it. That's all. That's what we did. And it looks so good. And Mei, yes, we're going to see each other in 24 hours. And Ray, I'm going to see you in somewhere near 24 hours as well. I'm not sure if we're meeting up probably on Saturday, I guess. But yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll see some of you at PBE, and I'll see the rest of you on Discord or Instagram or